Just one on 492, and I've got a three-part question. This is on the special election. Originally, I was going to ask, 1.75 million seemed like an awful lot of money, and it's just bizarre that it got cut in half. I mean, what's the deal with that? And is this money going to be outside or inside the cap? That was the whole 180. I mean, I just. The other part, another part of this is, why are you voting now? There's a challenge to this election even occurring. New Jersey Citizen Action joined in a lawsuit, I think today or yesterday, trying not to get it. And I don't know if they're going to succeed. I mean, on the merits, they probably should, but why now instead of like maybe 2 weeks or like, will you lose any money if they don't have, if somehow the election doesn't happen? And the third part is going back to the amount of money. Even $885,000 seems like a lot. There are other resolutions here that total about $300,000 for printing and the ballots and the mailing. And I know there's other stuff. I mean, there's the cost for poll workers, maybe to put out a special issue of UC directions. But what is this 885 encompass directly? I mean, I don't know if you've done any studies. And the main thing is, what this bizarre, I mean, why does this get cut in half? That just seems bizarre to me. That's going back to one. So just those 3 points.
Thank you. Okay, County Council.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In reference to why it was cut in half, the original proposal was to finance both the special primary election and the special general election. The litigation that was ongoing and the decision was rendered this afternoon, which denied the application to hold off on the October election. But that application never challenged the ability for the governor to declare a special primary election. So regardless of the end result of that litigation, the special election was on. As Ms. Dorado explained when she came up with reference to the time requirements, especially the federal requirements, since this is a federal election, in terms of getting out overseas and absentee ballots, would preclude the board from delaying the financing of the special primary election beyond that. As the breakdowns and stuff, I think Ms. Taylor has that.
Dr. Taylor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. With regard to the tax board, we have poll workers that we have to take delivery of machines. We also have to publish in accordance with law. We have poll books, voting authority challengers, printing of sample ballots, and overtime associated with the actual primary. Those costs for the primary for the tax board is $482,000. For the county clerk's office, you then have printing, mailing, postage associated with her office. We also have advertisement, messengers, and overtime and seasonal staff to total $358,478. That total in and of itself brings us to $840,478. For the total of $885,000, you then have the difference associated with the county centralized postage that we are going to a maximum on that difference, hence the $885,000.
Thank you, and I believe when Mrs. Dorado and Mr. Covas got up there, that part of that those expenses were explained. And based off of that information, we did reduce it down from 1.7 to 8.5. So thank you. Anyone else?
Madam Chair, if I could just to the question. If you go back to the special primary election that was moved in the presidential year of 2008, there was a letter that came to the county boards of elections from the state administrator, and it laid out exactly what the costs were what was eligible for reimbursement, at least 3 months before that election occurred. So that when this freeholder board had allocated money back then for that election, we knew exactly what was eligible and what was going to be reimbursed. Right now, we have nothing from the state, even though the state and the governor announced this election weeks ago. They know exactly what the costs are, because they're the same costs in any other election. And we're given assurances to all the counties in writing what would reimburse. We don't have anything like that now. So as Director Taylor said, this is our best guess based on our experience as to what elections cost. But right now, we have no assurance from the state. And then as the governor says, he really doesn't care what it costs. That was his statement. So I'm glad he doesn't care, but we certainly do. And this is again, our best guess. We only allocated as much as we needed for the primary, and we'll see what happens in terms of what the final result is for the general election.